So HATS are the leading provider for patient transport services and home to school special educational need and disability transport. We also run taxi services, courier services, shuttle bus services, to name a few. It's important for numerous reasons. Children need to get to school and people that can't. People need to get to hospital, in and out of hospital, and they need care.
Okay, so this is one of the hospital sites that we run out of. So this is purely ambulances, but we also have our Stockholm Road depot. That is one of our bases for maintenance for the vehicles. We run our home to school transport, our special educational need and disability transport from that depot as well. So we piloted the UK's first electric ambulance. It's fully electric and it's great for our green fleet.
So the issues that we had was obviously looking after the insurance of the business every single year. I have to renew every single one of those policies, and the particular one which we didn't do particularly well in last year was the fleet insurance. So we had our fleet insurance actually increased by quite a significant amount. That was due to lots of different reasons, but the key focus is the fact that we had too many claims which cost too much out on the road, which therefore increases your insurance when you go to renewal. So when I went to the renewal and sat down, it was agreed with our insurers, our fleet insurers, that we needed to find a way to reduce those costs. So obviously we had a particular type of telematics before, but it was very limited as to what it did. So what I wanted to do is bring more risk management into the vehicles, which we could oversee a little bit more.
So the Geotab software helps us by improving driver behaviour, gives them handy prompts, and therefore that drives down our premiums. So we have the ballistics camera in here, which feeds the data into the Geotab software. So here we've got the cameras that pick up the driver and their behaviour, and on the front of the camera, around the front here, there's another camera pointing out, and that picks up things from the road.
So we can analyse that footage if drivers are too close to the vehicles in front of them, or if they're involved in an incident. You know, I've got several examples where we've had to utilise the cameras where a vehicle might have driven past and clipped our vehicle, but driven off. So in other instances, we would never have got the information of the vehicle that's driven off. We've already seen that they've helped us win potential claims, which previously we wouldn't have done before because the footage is there to be able to use.
So the immediate thing that we saw that was a very clear win very early on was improving the seatbelt adoption. There was a lot of seatbelt alerts from the camera and also from the Geotab device. I think they went in the first 2 weeks from 3,000 alerts for safety against seatbelt usage down to 800.
Telematics has really helped us operationally, mainly looking at driver behaviour. So we noticed that some of the drivers possibly weren't wearing the seatbelt correctly. That's been picked up now, which has improved.
But now we're moving into looking at the driver behaviour, individual driver scorecards, looking at the new safety centre, adopting that into the actual My Geotab platform so they can use that, and then working with them to reduce their accidents, collisions, and actually using that data we see from Geotab now to predict future accidents and actually then coach before those accidents happen.
That's why we wanted to bring it in, to use the technology more to try and help the drivers rather than just rely on their accident report forms, which we have to look at, and then we wouldn't know as much what's going on. But now with the new technology, it allows us to look at that a little bit more. You know, rather than just sort of punishing them for not driving correctly or the way that we want them to, it's now improving them rather than going down the punishment route.
The timescale as well, isn't it? Actually being able to pull that data because it's in the cloud and it's instantaneous. And
it's getting the notifications within 30 seconds of these happening. You know, we can then deal with that there and then on the day or the following day with their manager and the site lead. So it's having that live footage, which is brilliant.
What we're noticing as well is the decrease in incidents has meant that the ambulances are on the road for longer. We're not having them off the road, dealing with breakdowns. So that's really improved the service for us operationally. And also invoicing purposes as well, like we've kind of picked up on waiting times surrounding hospital waiting times, how long we're waiting for a patient. And when looking at that led us on to the idling as well. So we then noticed that there's a lot of idling going on during that waiting time. So obviously that's a cost of fuel, which we can look at decreasing as well.
For us, we're the first to do this in our particular type of industry, really, with this type of dash cam. So for us to be head and shoulders above that, you know, our other competitors as well, is a good thing for us as a business.
Well, Geotab allows me to sleep better at night because I know that whilst the vehicles are on the road in the evening, when there's limited control, there's limited management, the drivers have the support of the cameras, they're available to them. And when we wake up in the morning, we know that if we need to follow anything up, it's at our fingertips.
The fact that I can manage and oversee more incidents than I would have been able to before, you know, with the new technology, I can argue with the insurance company to say, look, this is where we were, this is where we are now with the new technology, and we're obviously improving with that. And it's the type of data that we're getting through, it's more detailed than we've ever sort of had before. And, particularly the cameras and the way that they're managed on the system and the easiness access to it is what makes it easier for me.